Hi, I'm Pastor Franklin, and welcome to another edition of Music Corner. I'm here with my wife Jean, and we're going to do another hymn for September. What do we have on tap?
For September, we're dipping into the Christian Home and Education section of our hymnal. We're going to turn to 862, which is listed as "O Blessed the House." Now, before I get into all of that, I want to give you a little bit of background about this hymn. This tune appears in three different places in our hymnal. It actually was written as an Epiphany hymn, so it comes as no surprise. It's hymn number 399. The star proclaims the king is here. But those were not the words that the original writer had written. Then we've got 862. This comes most closely to the actual German hymn that Van Fale had written. The tune actually was most familiar to me as a version of Mary's Magnificat, and that's found at 934.
You're right.
Yes, and 934 is the original key. It's obviously three-flat, so Franklin, help me out. E-flat major?
That would be E-flat major. She's good, isn't she, folks? E-flat major.
How long have I been playing piano? All right. So let me give you a taste of the original tune.
Did they have pianos back then?
They had keyboards. So that was the original key. Now, apparently what the Lutheran hymnal editors had done is they dropped it just a half step, I guess perhaps maybe to make it easier for the congregation to sing. I'm not sure.
Well, D is a familiar key.
It is.
As is G.
It definitely is. And what I want to do is now I want to give you a little bit of background about the man who wrote this hymn. His name is Christoph Karl Ludwig von Fale, PF, like Pfeffer, Fale, and obviously German. He was born near Worms on January 20.
I had a diet there once.
You did. Year 1712. Sorry. The poor man passed away on Valentine's Day, February 14, in 1784. He was 72 years old. Interestingly, he graduated from university with a degree in law, and he had a number of political appointments, but he resigned due to the absolutism of Württemberg Prime Minister. So he went his separate ways with that politico, but he was on the good side of Frederick the Great. He got appointed as something called Geheimrat. He was the Prussian ambassador to the Diets of Swabia and Franconia.
Say that a few times.
Yes. He was made baron by Emperor Joseph II.
No kids?
Very funny.
Not that baron?
Not Baron of Grey Matter,
Baron
no. And then in 1765, he received the Cross of the Red Eagle Order from Frederick the Great. What was sad was he contracted a fever in August of 1783. He was bedridden until his death in February of 1783. But here's something that is fascinating about this man. Now remember, he goes to university, he gets a law degree, but from age 18 onward, he was writing hymns. He started writing in 1730, and over 950 hymns.
Wow, that's a lot.
He had written.
Traditional hymnody?
Yes, traditional in German. Only two have passed into English. One was a burial hymn. It was entitled "The Christian's Grave with Joy We See." And then the other one is this one, "O Blessed the House." But if you were to translate the original title, it would be something like "Delightful Picture of a House that Serves the Lord on the Parents of Jesus."
Only in German, sweetheart. Only in German. And this one featured
about Catherine Winkworth in just a moment. But what I wanted to share with you is the first verse of a translation into English so that you can see how closely Catherine translated to the original German. Blessed is a house where Jesus Christ alone is the all in all. Yes, If he were not there, how dark it would be, how poor and empty. Now, obviously, that doesn't fit the music.
No,
She's
it
got
doesn't.
to do some fancy.
Yeah.
Well, what do I want to share with you about Catherine Winkworth? Miss Winkworth was a force to be reckoned with in terms of German translations into English of hymns. Her translations are the most popular. And when did she come on the scene? She's going to be around the American Civil War times.
Yeah, 1827 to 1878 is when she lived.
Yes.
So.
She never married. She was, trick question, which church did she worship in?
The Winkworth? I would say the Protestant Church in England.
Church of England, exactly. And so she was born in London, and she ultimately, I believe, died in France. But there was a period of her life where she lived in Germany.
Really?
And of course, that was where her appreciation for the German hymn writing and the German people who were involved in spiritual efforts, that took an awful lot of her energies. She was a proponent of women's education and women's rights. That interesting.
A suffragette, huh?
So what she did is she translated this tune in 1863. Originally there were 8 stanzas. We only have 4 because our verse 3 is not written by the original author.
Oh.
But those were some details. Now I have to share with you, this description of her talents is just amazing. In a sympathetic article on Miss Winkworth in the Inquirer of July 20, 1878, Dr. Martineau says, quote, "The translations contained in these volumes are invariably faithful and for the most part both terse and delicate, and an admirable art is applied to the management of complex and difficult versification. They have not quite the fire of John Wesley's versions of Moravian hymns, or the wonderful fusion and reproduction of thought which may be found in Coleridge, but if less flowing, they are more conscientious than either, and attain a result as poetical as severe exactitude admits, being only a little short of native music."
Wow. You know, I just did a cursory look at the words. Terse? I don't see how it's terse.
No,
beautiful,
I
of
don't
course.
think it is either.
Well, let's hear what you have to
And
sing.
so this
Let's hear
is hymn number 862, "O Blessed the House."
Oh, blessed the house, whatever befall, where Jesus Christ is all in all. A home that is not wholly His, cursed and poor and dark it is.
So Pastor Franklin, as we return to school and our thoughts turn to our little ones and Christian education and teaching them what's important in life, I thought it would be fun that we remember Baron von Pfeil and Catherine Winkworth in this effort to translate the hymn, "O Bless the House."
And the tune by Josef Klug.
I can tell you more about him later.
Okay, very good. Well, that's our music corner for September. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you learned some things, because I certainly did. And do sing along with us in church. We've got, I believe, 4 Sundays in September, and we're going to go through the hymn and hopefully start singing it on a regular basis. Until October, Pastor Franklin and
Jean.
God bless.
Bye.